There are two historically devastating examples of the West simply refusing to bathe. Most recently in 2009 when League of Legends first dropped. But before that, more than 500 years ago, when your average doctor insisted 3 to 4 baths a year is optimal for your health. And how did this come to be? You don't simply wake up one day, head to your basin of hygiene and go, what if this kills me though? We often think of the Middle Ages as being depressing and filthy, but firstly, I would argue every historical era after the fall of the Western Roman Empire is depressing. And second, nothing can compare to the absolute stench of the early modern era, 17th and 18th century in particular. While in medieval times, scholars wrote and quoted poetry of the importance of washing up daily. It keeps you healthy. But they also put emphasis on how bathing makes you sexier. And if you don't bathe, you're actually ugly. So there were some very high-end communal baths where you could hang out all day, drink mineral water, socialize, and from what I can gather from illustrations of the time, do the hippity-dippity. Yes, the majority of bathhouses doubled as bordellos. It was good for you and it was fun. But unfortunately, it was having too much fun that brought on the end of bathing culture for a large chunk of Europe. Let me elaborate. Pre-19th century, people did not believe in germs existing, because you can't really see germs. What you could see, though, was Richard's health deteriorating after his last visit to the bathhouse. See, Richard did not know that what he had was syphilis, because the doctor told him he had bad blood, something which is the direct product of his moral failings, or a newer theory that was being developed. Perhaps it was the water that opened up his pores and left him vulnerable to toxins. This didn't affect just Richard, who was a poor lagoon farmer. It also affected John, a wealthy merchant, Edmund, Samuel, and other 16th century male names. This old French disease was happening on a mass scale. Many physicians wrote about the phenomena, but syphilis, or at the time French pox, was not thought to be a sexually transmitted disease, probably because the authors of these studies often had it themselves and didn't want to get shamed even more than they already were. Because walking around with your nose missing signaled to everyone that you're a morally corrupted individual. That is, of course, until the conclusion pretty much became, it is something in the water. Which, for the communal baths at the time, which often doubled as bordellos, is partially true, since the bacteria that causes syphilis can survive in lukewarm water. Either way, things weren't looking good for the bathhouse, and its reputation was further damaged by the Great Moral Revolution. During the 15th and 16th century, the church held much higher standards for propriety, which condemned prostitution and shamed nudity. We're shutting this down, right? So syphilis water was bad and bathhouses were bad, so by rule of inference and inductive reasoning, bathing and water are also bad. And this bizarre reasoning was amplified and supported by the print, which saw a rise in the same time period. So all the out-of-pocket ideas that bubbling guilds of medical practitioners came up with could be spread to the masses. Extra, extra, God hates you disease, now found in water, read all about it. But don't blame them, yourselves. Now, of course, medical geniuses of the time did not overtly say that water is bad. Hot water is absurdly bad for you, though that's literally how you die. But a quick soak in cold water followed by a rubbing of oils and herbs, that's great. To give an example for this type of reasoning, Francis Bacon theorized that you can gain nourishment for the skin, but you can also lose it. Bathing will weaken the body, but on the other hand, a spit bath can have you covered for a while, even though it does almost nothing. And this decline in bathing culture has been summed up best by Dutch philosopher Erasmus. In 1526, he commented on the fall of common hygiene. 25 years ago, nothing was more fashionable in Brabant than the public baths. Today there are none. The new plague has taught us to avoid them. So everyone just stunk and went with it. However, the stinky people of Europe also brought their stink to the Americas, which horrified the native population. Like, wow, you're stinky. Thanks, I also carry diseases. Colonial hygiene was abysmal, and it's not like they didn't care about being clean. Clean was just defined differently. In their eyes, these weren't low hygiene standards. They were just different hygiene standards. But imagine telling a man you own land while smelling like moldy soup. Come on. All you do is bathe once a year and spread chickenpox. Yet, of course, it was arguably the worst in London. Let me transport you to this era. It is the 18th century. There are more people in London than there have ever been. All of them are burning coal, dumping waste into overflowing sewers which flow directly into the river. The smell of toxic paint is wrestling with the smell of horse shit to see which one will knock you out faster. Your last real bath was 3 months ago, and you were the third person to use the bath water. A dry cloth bath is all you've been relying on, but you hold on to the belief that your underwear sucks out impurities. If you have teeth, they're rotten. If you have more than one set of clothes, it hasn't been washed in 4 weeks. Well, at least there's no point in being jealous of the upper classes and the perfumed men in lead makeup and horsehair flea wigs, because cholera will be taking both of you out soon. I already talked about the solutions to all of this in one of my previous videos, and saying that I really hope my videos are part of your toilet entertainment routine rather than your dinner entertainment. With this one, I just wanted to talk about how the literal Dark Ages did a better job at maintaining good personal hygiene than the early modern era, and it was literally just because bathhouses got a bad rep for the wrong reason. And also, I wasn't expecting to post this topic because the Q&A was supposed to be next. But I have a very important announcement. I am now a Gamer Subs partner, which means you now have to buy some. Why? Apart from the fact that it's a poopy endorsed product, Gamer Subs brings many benefits, like caffeine without crashing afterwards, which means you can game for longer, which is how I was able to achieve my current record on Blockdom. What? But they also have caffeine-free flavors for when you actually want to be in bed by 2 AM, even though what reasonable person wants that? Am I right, fellow Blockdom speedrunners? They sent me some flavors to try. My current favorite is the dragon fruit one. I've never tasted an actual dragon fruit, but this literally tastes like Pez juice. I do a little bit over 3 poopy scoopies, then I take a few gamer sips and become instantly more attractive to women. And the shakers are amazing. No leaks, some of them have anime chicks on them, and I always feel like I'm going to the gym even though I've been to a gym only once. If you're a coke addict like me and want to try and spice things up, drink something that's not actively disintegrating your stomach lining and has no calories, try Gamer Subs for free. Literally, they ain't even asking for your debit card info. That's how good the subs are. But more importantly, if you buy enough subs using my code, Gamer Subs will add a poopy waifu cup to their arsenal. So do it. Buy. Or get some free samples. But then buy. Okay, bye.